Welcome, everybody, to episode, oh God, where are we? 28 of Two Dimensional Champions. I am Julian.
And I'm Fadnader.
Haha, yay! I
Yay!
just said that because we're recording and we can actually see each other on Skype because we've got the video up, but you all won't have a video because we're not actually recording video yet, but
We
this
don't
is
have
kind
the
of
technology. Sorry.
yeah, not yet, yeah. So now we can actually react to,
So really what it does is he gives me jazz hands. I respond to jazz hands, but you have no idea that jazz hands actually happened.
yeah, it adds an entirely new layer of the show.
It's almost like a mystery, which is strangely appropriate because what we're doing today is Beautiful
It's a
Bones.
mystery.
Boom. Mystery.
Yep.
Bringing it back. All right.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, so we're doing Beautiful Bones. The subtitle is Sakurako's Investigation, and the Japanese title is A Corpse is Buried Under Sakurako's Feet, uh, which I guess makes it awkward when she buys tennis shoes, I guess. Oh, God, that was horrible. I might have to actually edit that out. That was really
No. I
fucking
want
terrible.
people to know the shit that I have to deal with. You can't censor that. So I'm suffering. I'm suffering right now.
But in my mind, I'm so much funnier than I actually am.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Actually,
So this episode was supposed to be out a few days ago, but it's not because I got sick. So now that I've recovered, we're doing it, and now we are also definitely going to have a new episode every Monday. That's our new.
yeah. Just like all of the other times we've promised to deliver episodes on a certain date, here's another promise which we may or may not follow through in. Only time.
Yeah, except we'll definitely follow through this time
Yes,
because this is the time that it changes now.
because for every time we miss the deadline, for whoever's fault it is, we'll just kick the other person in the nuts. So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if it's my fault that we can't get it, then Julian will kick me in the nuts. If it's Julian's fault, then I'll kick him in the nuts. And we'll just use that as like a way to
That'll be
assure. So yeah, just to make this definite more substantial is all I'm saying.
yeah. Our nuts are on the line when it comes to this show.
Yes.
So
Future children.
yeah, future children. So yeah, so
You're like
every Monday.
children.
Yeah, yeah, it's like yeah, for real. So every Monday there'll definitely be a new episode. We hope. Yeah, so today we're doing Beautiful Bones. Quick little note. And this is just shameless self promotion. My webcomic started back up again this week. So you can find that at apeironcomic.com, which is APEIRON comic.com. So I'll put that in the show notes too. It's back, updates Tuesdays and Fridays. Also like this show for real. It updates Tuesdays and Fridays. And so yeah, so that's back. And do we have any emails or anything like that?
No. I mean, I could say yes. I have no problem in mind.
Yeah, so what's the email address we should have people send in?
2dcrequests@gmail.com.
Yep, so that's the address. I should actually put that in the show notes too. And if you have any requests and what you would like us to talk about and make fun of, just let us know.
We also have a YouTube now with some of the videos, and that's Two Dimensional Champions is the thing. The email for that YouTube is 2DC requests, so I don't know if you can also find it through the email, but that's just it's out there. It's not as updated as the SoundCloud, but maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. Yeah. So yeah, we're on YouTube and we're also on iTunes, and so drop by there, subscribe, give us a review, what you think about the
We
show.
got one.
I know we did. Thank you so much to the person who gave us a really wonderful review.
Yeah,
Actually,
they liked us.
really
They really
liked
liked
us.
us.
They really liked us. Yeah, thank you. So that
Whoever your
was
name
nice.
is, I mean, we've already forgotten, but thank you.
Well, yeah, we really appreciate it. We appreciate hearing from you all. So just let us know, send us a review, do all those things on the iTunes, and you've got a lot of options for where you can listen to us, which I guess is a nice thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's convenient. That's what technology is all about, right?
convenience.
Convenience. Yeah.
All right.
So that's all the quick notes before the show. So I guess we'll just get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So this show, Beautiful Bones, is based off of a Japanese mystery novel series written by Shiori Ota. It seems like it's a light novel series because there's illustrations by credited to Tetsuo. I guess after all the events of Neo Tokyo and the whole Akira thing, I guess.
I was like, Tetsuo sounds really familiar.
Yeah, I can't help but make it an Akira joke with
Right.
that.
I
Yeah,
was like, I feel like I should
guess
be screaming that, but I don't know.
yeah.
Thank
So
you for like
after
bringing that. I was like, all right, Akira, thank God.
after turning into a giant baby and blowing up an entire city, I guess he decided to get a job as an artist, which is great. It's good. He seemed like somebody who needed like an artistic mm,
Kind of like Hitler.
place to get. I
He
mean,
was an artist,
but
right?
yeah, but in his case, he was an artist first, and then he was like kind of a bad dude. You know what I mean?
Uh,
So
okay,
in this
whatever. It was
case,
a bad joke. Anyway.
yeah, yes, yes.
I feel a little bit like
So
shitter and I apologize to all the people I offended.
it's okay. I called Hitler just a pretty bad dude. That's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's really not a. It's kind of going easy on it,
He
I
was
guess.
actually just quite rude.
Yeah,
But anyway,
very
let's.
very unsociable. Yeah. Anyway, so this is published by Kadokawa Shoten. There's 8 volumes so far. It started in 2013. Seems like there's 600,000 copies in print. It's doing well. Usually with the light novel deal, when I look it up, there's like 3 or 4 different manga series that are also spin-offs of, or like have also been made over the light novel. This is just a novel, so it seems like there's no manga yet so far. The anime television series is licensed by Crunchyroll. That's where, or it's licensed by Sentai Filmworks actually. So it'll be coming out on DVD and Blu-ray, I guess, in the future. We watched it on Crunchyroll, so you can watch the whole show on there for free. Or if you don't want to watch ads, you can like subscribe to them and stuff.
Yeah, but they're not our sponsors, so don't do it on our record. Boom, mic drop.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
Crunchyroll, talk to me. Talk to me, buddy. My people, your people. We'll work something
Please,
out.
please, yeah, please. If you know about us, please.
Help us sell out, please.
Yeah, we're so excited to sell out. And the animation for the show was done by Troika Incorporated, which is an animation studio founded by director A. Aoki in November 2013. Their only previous show that they worked on was Aldnoah Zero, which was a co-production with A1 Pictures.
That was really popular, wasn't it?
That was pretty big for a while, I think. Yeah, and A. Aoki was the director of that, and he also did Gare Zero and stuff like that. And actually, Horo Musko, which is, God, what's the English title of that? Anyway, he's a cool director. The Beautiful Bones was directed by Makoto Kato, who actually was a storyboard artist, episode director, and unit director for Aldnoah Zero. He did storyboard work for Batum. Otherwise, he's done a lot of other work, but I'm not familiar with a lot of the shows he's been on. So it's kind of a new studio. This show is fucking pretty.
It's pretty, but I wouldn't say it's prettier than Perfect Insider.
That's true. That's a good point because I think the backgrounds are really nice. The colors are nice. I don't think it's as well animated as
The
Perfect.
expressions for Perfect Insider, I think, were
Yeah,
really what sort of like brought that in. It's
that's
actually
true.
it's interesting because Perfect Insider was a mystery, and then this was also like a sort of mystery, um, and they're
Yeah.
super different.
Oh yeah, really different in their execution.
Yeah,
I'd say maturity too, but
yeah.
maybe
I
that's being
think
a
the
little.
Perfect Insider was definitely for a more mature audience.
Yeah.
It's really similar to Bones, the TV series, too. But
It is really similar. That's what I. Yeah, I was wondering why it was so.
it's just that there's like one degree of
So
separation between the police officer and the scientific genius.
yeah, and then it really doesn't seem like there's a romance. It really does seem like she treats him as a younger brother character.
Yeah, but I think the romance is coming. Something that
Really?
I thought was really interesting was that like for a lot of the panels or like a lot of the screen caps, it was always of people's busts. Like almost all of the girls, they like focused on like the chest area or like just underneath like the eyes.
Hmm.
Which is just really bizarre to me. And also, the thing that's interesting is like I usually notice that when it's like big old titties or a lot of cleavage, but it's like completely normal, like school outfit, like nothing flashy. You just don't see their face. It's just of like
Huh.
their midsection, which I
I
thought
hadn't
was
thought
really
about that.
bizarre.
Yeah, I guess I do remember a few scenes like that with Sakurako. Yeah, and they were weird.
And also with
Huh.
Kogami,
Okay,
the other
the high
girl,
school
yeah,
girl.
like that. Like that's I noticed it at the very get go when it was like a dead cat or something.
Oh
It was
yeah,
like this
yeah.
is Kogami chest, and I'm like, where's her face? What the fuck?
That's really interesting because of like you were saying too, how like kind of unfan servicey the
Right.
characters are.
It almost like had like the angling of fan service, but like
It's
not
like
the
the
actual
director.
service.
Yeah, it's like the director really wanted to be pervy, but was like, this really isn't that pervy of a
Right.
show. Although there
Maybe they
are a
just
lot
really
of
like girls in plain clothes.
could
Like,
be,
oh my
but
god, those button up. Maybe it was just the shirts. Like maybe he
could be.
just really like it was like, oh my god, that's cool. I just that shirt is just so nice.
The director just really likes button-up shirts. But I will say, even though it's not a harem series, this show does have a lot of boners.
Oh my god. You son of a bitch.
That's right.
Um,
I went there.
yeah.
So,
How long like were you thinking of that? Like, was that something that you like?
that was cooking for like 5 minutes before I said it. I was so
It was
excited. The
like,
moment I thought of it, I was like, yes.
I can't wait to
It's
see this shit.
actually
I
as soon as
can't
you started
wait.
talking, yeah, as soon as you started talking about like the busts and stuff like that, I was like, I can do a boner joke. I can do a boner joke. This is gonna be so cool. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So,
I mean, so how would I sort of describe it? I would mix Sherlock Holmes with Bones. I also got some like sort of like Blackjack feels, like Blackjack slash Sailor Moon.
yeah, because Sakurako will kind of do this like hand thing,
Right,
and
the Evangelion hand.
yeah, yeah, she'll do the Gendo
Yeah.
hand pose
After
and
she
everything.
slaps her
Her gloves
gloves.
on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the stretching of the gloves like sparks something in her brain. It's always the same sequence. It's always the same animation each time.
Like a superhero transformation. I was kind of wondering, and this like is just a side thought, is that if the whole reason for like the superhero transformations was to save on budget, to take up
Oh,
time,
totally. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean that was a classic thing that they would do. On the other hand, the transformations were usually really well animated, but because of that,
and they
they
would just
played them up.
reuse it, reuse it, reuse it, reuse it.
Yeah, I mean that's why because Kill la Kill, which was done in a very '90s style, that's what they did each time. Which was they had really, really well animated transformation sequences, and they just reused them.
Yeah, too bad the rest of the
Um,
anime was shit.
Amazing, yeah, just totally stunning, best show ever. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. But yeah, there's definitely. I think you picked up on a good note. It definitely has that blackjack vibe, where it kind of feels like how because when we talked about blackjack, we talked about how this is like how people imagine doctors like would be. This show is kind of like this is like how detectives I would imagine a detective being, you know, in a weird way, who's not a cop or something like that. I mean, she has no like degree or anything like that. She just simply loves bones, seemingly knows enough people who are either in her family or she's like casually
I mean, I think the whole
related
thing
to
was
in
that
some
like
way.
her uncle or something like that.
Oh yeah, her uncle was like a I almost said primatologist and I was like that's
Oh, is it the osteologist?
she's an osteologist.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know if she
I
ever
don't
went to
know.
school
It
for it,
doesn't
but
matter.
yeah, but she can solve everything. You know, it's not just bones. She's like, she's really great at. I mean, she's like that's where
Like
the Sherlock Holmes
science.
thing comes
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she looks at something and she'll say, you know, now I'm going to solve this case. You know, and she does the glove slapping thing and magically suddenly
There's
formulates.
like a mammoth, boned mammoth, and
Yeah, I mean, it was really pretty. It was
yeah, it's
cool,
cool.
but I mean, I had no idea what she was doing, and it was also weird how she would sometimes project what she was seeing to the other characters. Did you notice
No, I
that?
didn't notice that. What do you mean?
So she would like show them to like the site. It happened in the first episode where she like took the cop back to like the site where they found the bodies and went through all the evidence with him. And he was like, ah, oh, you know, and when she talked about them drowning,
Oh,
the
right.
Tatewake was like, oh, if he looked like he felt like he was drowning, and he looked at his cup and he was like, oh, water.
But then they like stopped doing that,
They
right?
kind of stopped doing that. There was a little bit of
It,
that with
but that
the
sort of
grandma.
reminded me of like Sherlock, like in the
Yeah,
actual the British series or whatever that's
yeah,
going on now. How they would show um like words pop up like while he's examining things and sort of like that sort of
yeah. It felt
interaction.
like that. It didn't feel as cool as that,
Yeah, it
but
did
it
not
did.
like not quite as cool, but
Yeah, but it definitely was very similar to
yeah.
that. But they kind of yeah they stopped doing that. I guess. Hmm. But for a while, I was like, oh, she has a Sharingan, right? Like, uh, you know, yeah.
uh,
So before we get into the episodes really in depth, what did you think overall? Do you think people would like this show? Like, would you finish watching it?
I feel like this is the sort of show I can't really think of things that I dislike about it, but I
Hmm.
also can't really think of things that I like about it enough for me to keep watching. So like I could hear someone being like, "Hey man, have you seen Beautiful Bones?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I really meant to finish that. I started watching it. It was good." But like never actually finish it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's sort of like where I'm at. Like it has some interesting stuff onto it, but I'm not super into the characters or the story. But I think
yeah,
like the animation is done. I think the episodes are like pretty good, but like there isn't the thing like I mean like I saw things and I got like goosebumps and I was like into it, you know. But
yeah. I mean, I like that Sakurako was older. That was nice. They're not just in school all the time. The stories are they're interesting.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I think yeah, it doesn't really get my blood pumping, and I feel like it is a little. I feel like that lowballs what it could really be in a strange way. Like I feel like it could be so much better if it wasn't. If it wouldn't occasionally kind of hamstring itself on sort of like these anime stereotypes, I guess. Does that make sense? Is that do you think that's like an actual critique, or am I just pulling that out of my ass?
I don't think that it actually had a whole lot of stereo. Well, like the thing that threw me off as I was telling you about before was like how it would do a bus shot, but there not actually be a bus.
Yeah,
So I'm like, how come I can't see this person's face?
I guess what I mean is like with her when her transformation sequence when she would solve crimes. I think if they didn't have that and instead made it a little less magical in how she seemingly can solve everything better than the cops.
Right.
I feel like if they just toned that down a little bit, I would have liked it a lot more.
You know what? You know what I say? I say that I would probably rate this. anime a lot higher if we didn't just watch Perfect Insider.
Yeah, that's true. We had just finished like a really great mystery detective show, and it is tough to not just shit all over this one because of that.
Yeah. But
And that would be that
it
would
does have like a lot of merits to it. But
well, it
there's
does.
like
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is I don't want to be unfair because this is actually a really solid show. I
right.
mean, there's really not. Yeah, I mean, I actually might finish it. I wish it would actually was more about her love of bones as opposed to just her ability to apparently solve any crime
Yeah.
or
Although,
mystery.
although like I do really buy her love of bones. Like she's really into bones, and I think that
Oh,
that's
she's
cool.
yeah,
Like I mean, there's like, oh, I know this other stuff, but then she's like bones, and she's just like,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
And it's nice. It's nice. I mean,
It's like
it's
the
a
only time
cool.
that she really like has a lot of expression. But
Yeah.
then there's like those scenes. Do you remember when we first started like rewatching Naruto came out at the same time as starts with the B Bleach.
Bleach.
Thank you. And then he was like, I don't really care about these people. They don't bother me. Let me save you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where
Yes,
he would
I feel
he
like she's
just
totally doing that like a lot. Like she's like,
she is
I super
yeah
don't
she is
care about
pulling in
people. Oh, but I really care about people.
yeah she's pulling an Ichigo. It seems like she kind of has sequestered herself away from people. Maybe not because she dislikes them, but because she cares about them too much, and you know
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I just feel like if she actually had more, if we saw more of her and her life, I feel like this it would be a lot more interesting. And the second half of the show could get really into that. But just so far, I really wanted to know more about her, and I feel like
I,
most of what we watched was just them something happening while they were going on a walk, or someone would show up being like, "Something's happened. We need your advice."
you know what I'm
Uh,
interested in is I'm interested in the villain.
yeah, the bad guy seems actually really interesting. He
And
didn't show up until the very end.
well, actually, there were references to him in the second episode
Oh, really?
when the guy was walking in. He was talking about how he needed to go get the butterflies.
Oh shit!
The
Oh, you just
drug
blew my
dealer.
mind.
Yeah, like
I
that was
totally
the
forgot
thing.
about that.
And when she was talking about the butterfly bone in the back of the bone and how butterflies sort of seemed. Wait, spoiler alert.
Yeah, okay. We just jumped into that.
Whatever.
So before we really get into that, because you just blew my mind with that. That I did not
It's like,
make that
no, I'm
connection at all.
gonna fucking watch it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, now I kind of want to watch it more. But yeah. So I'd say this is a nice, solid show. I'd kind of argue for uh, I guess teenagers and up. I mean, it's a fun, it's a well done mystery
It's
show.
not a I won't. It's not the I had sex with my niece and then whatever or what?
What?
No, the crazy mature like thing. Yeah,
Oh, Perfect
yeah.
Insider.
It's
Perfect.
not a like I had sex with my niece, the super genius, like type of anime.
I thought you were
They're
saying.
actually talking about me having sex. No,
Yeah, I thought you were saying. This show is pretty good.
listen,
It
bro,
wasn't
we're
as
talking
good
about
as the
anime here. Like you were like, way to drop that on me all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
I was.
Doing
I was
some
about to be like,
podcasts.
oh. I was like, okay. I mean, I guess that's
It's like,
one way of like,
and then
rating a
that's
show.
when Thaddeus, admitted to being a pedophile and was put into jail. Not
Not a
quite.
spoiler.
No, that's
You
a
know,
reference. I won't say what it was to because of
you could have,
spoilers.
yeah, you
But
could
if
have
you,
saved yourself there and been like, oh no, she's older. But,
yeah,
yeah. You didn't. You
but
didn't have to. You just outed.
whatever,
You just.
fuck it, whatever. All right, moving on. We're moving
That's what.
on.
That's like, yeah, digging that hole deeper. um,
I'm on a mission, going to China.
usually I do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's a solid middle of the road show. If you're looking for stuff to watch, and you kind of also if you want to have something on while you're playing a game or something like that, I think this is a great show to do that
Well, but
because
like
you don't really need to focus that much, right?
but it is sort of a detective thing, and you sort of need
It's
like
yeah,
do sort of like go into like detective stuff. Like when I watched this around to pick up girls in the dungeon, I had that on the monitor, and I like completely enjoyed it because you can sort of follow it without like going into it
yeah.
that much. But with this, it's sort of like it's a detective show, so you feel like you should pay attention to it.
And it is actually well directed. Man, I feel like I've totally fucked up this interview. I can't decide whether it's like,
Whether it's
yeah,
good or not.
yeah. I mean, strong, middle of the really like a really good solid show. I don't know if I'd recommend it to everybody just because I think it doesn't quite reach so far. It hasn't quite reached its full potential. So I can't really say.
I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend it, like if you know when you watch a lot of anime, you have the friend that's like, I'm just getting into anime. I've watched all of like the good stuff, like the Eva, Cowboy Viva, Trigun, whatever, Grand Lagan, etc. I've watched all that good stuff. Like, what else should I check out? I like sort of darker mystery, whatever stuff. That's when I would sort of recommend this. It's not like at the top, but I would say it's like the next tier down.
And I think it's a great example of showing something different that anime can
That's
do
true. I mean,
and do
it
well
is a
with.
unique sort of thing.
Yeah, it's got a unique flavor. It's really got some interesting science stuff going on, and it is nice to see characters that are. The show may not be as mature as Perfect Insider, but on the other hand, it is nice to see character designs that are designed maturely. Frankly, like there's older people in the show. It's nice that this girl isn't like 15, or
Right.
something like, and just suddenly a prodigy while she's in school.
And it isn't like really harem-y, and it isn't really like sexisty. Like I do comment about like how the random bus, like whatever,
Yeah,
like how it's almost trying to do that, but like all of the women are sort of, they're not like super gorgeous or whatever. Like they're all sort of maintained and like
yeah. I
dressed
mean, she's
well conservatively.
yeah. I mean, she's supposed to be quite beautiful, but on the other hand, her personality is very unique, and I think that's what
Right,
drives
and
the
she's
show.
supposed to be like quite beautiful, but it's not like super revealing clothes, like busts. They're not like
Oh,
ridiculous busts.
well,
Like
I
it's
mean,
not that
it's not
sort
like
of like.
it's not like Hestia from like you were saying. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? The
Right.
blue string. Yeah,
She's always, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
So
That's true.
so like, and so they're not like unattractive, but I'm just saying they're not like over the top either,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah, and that's just nice because I don't know. It's a nice looking show, and yeah, yeah. I think you covered it well. I don't need to bullshit any more than that. Yeah. So yeah,
The acceptable amount of bullshit stamp.
yeah, it's like my mouth kept running, but I was like, no, Thaddeus covered everything. That was exactly what I was
But a
thinking. Yeah,
period is
thank you.
more appropriate here.
Yeah. So yeah, really, I would say check it out. I really can't
If you're
think of
not
anything.
watching anything else right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a long list of other shows, then maybe
Yeah.
not. But so from here on out, let's get into the nitty gritty.
Um,
The I was trying to do another bone joke, but I couldn't.
all right. Thank God. So, what's your first note for the first episode?
My very first note,
Yeah.
it's dead kitten.
Oh, I didn't write that down. I didn't care about the dead kitten. Mine was, OMG, she kissed a skull.
That didn't happen for a little while, did it?
Yeah,
Oh no, that's my fourth note.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. So.
And that was mainly due to mockery when I wrote that
Yeah.
down. It's like, oh, it's a bone. It's like, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. I love skulls. Yeah. So the intro of the show is Shotaro coming to school, and it's actually one of the few scenes we have that's actually at school, which was kind of nice.
Unless you're
And
trying to watch Young Blackjack when you wish he was at school.
oh yeah, this is the opposite of that show, which was he needed to be in school all the time and he wasn't. That's so stupid. Uh, and Shotaro, yeah, he goes to school, and all the students are freaked out because there's a dead kitten that looks like it's been hit by a car or something like that. And he, is just like, well, the other kids were bothered by death, but I didn't have a problem with it. Nor did Kogami, actually, the girl who helps him out. And the reason why he doesn't have a problem with dead bodies is because he hangs out with this chick, Sakurako, who is all about the dead bodies.
Yeah.
She loves them. Loves them.
Yep.
And the note that that I had for it is he makes a real there's a big emphasis in the first few scenes about how it's a boring town. It's way too peaceful. Apparently, although it's apparently not very peaceful because people are fucking dying and getting murdered all over the place. But anyway,
Maybe that's happening everywhere, and we just don't know it because,
dun dun
yeah.
dun. Yeah. So time flows oddly apparently in the town. Like things have stagnated. So he says that that's like a big part of the opening.
It's
That
like, isn't like that like the same intro as
yeah, I think it's
Sherlock
the same
Holmes?
intro. Yeah, I think it's the same intro for fucking every anime series. Even FLCL did that. Like, this is the town where nothing happens, and there's a giant iron. So I
You
wrote
know
it
who
down
doesn't
because
do that? One Punch Man. Shit's always happening in One Punch Man. Anyway, moving on.
that's true. Yeah, and yeah, so she kisses the skull, and she's an osteologist. Apparently, she has a fiance. Although, is that ever brought up again in the next 4 episodes?
I completely forgot that happened, so nope.
Did I just misread that? Does she actually have a fiance?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
Because I seen it, so I have a note that says I could have just made this up, but that because I don't remember it being brought up again, but that she has a fiance. She doesn't. It was
Maybe her
like
fiance is the evil villain with the
what a
butterfly.
twist!
Yeah.
Oh shit! There we
Oh my
go.
god, it's
Yeah,
almost like I've watched an anime before.
I know. So they go out. So after a short introduction of her and her pretty house and her maid that she lives alone with, or housekeeper,
Right.
lady who's kind of raised her. She lives all by herself. He just apparently just hangs out all the time there, which I was like, I really wish that we saw how they first met and like
I
how
think
this
I mean, I wouldn't be
situation.
surprised if that
I mean,
happened. You know,
I'm
I
sure they
think that
will.
that's something that because they're sort of like they're not afraid of the flashback thing. They're doing a lot of like
No,
flashback teaser things, so I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if you eventually get to how they met.
yeah, because I'd be really interested to see how this arrangement came about because he's really romantically interested in her and thinks she's the bee's knees. But she just doesn't seem like the type who would easily accept people just coming over and hanging out all the time. Although she apparently
Although, well, he reminds her of her
her
younger
younger
brother.
brother is, as we find out, yeah, in a couple episodes.
Yeah,
But I like how they did that. I like how they kind of teased that out, and but didn't wait till the end of the show to do it to reveal it. I mean, I liked how she just brought that up in what episode 3 or 4,
right.
or she just dropped it. She was like, "I know you're going to ask me. I know you've been wanting to ask me that." I really liked how they did that. That was a nice touch.
Wait, which part?
Where she told him it was her younger brother.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
How it
like.
wasn't just like they just like pushed the mystery for like a really long time.
And also, I thought too that a lot of shows will just leave it for the very end. They'll go 13 episodes without really.
Like
They'll set it up.
Elfin
It'll,
Elfenlied for some reason just popped in my mind about that. But
really?
anyway,
Did they do that? Elfin Line's been popping up in your brain in the past couple of episodes
has
too.
it?
Yeah. We mentioned it, or you mentioned it a little while ago.
I don't
I
know
feel like
why, because I hadn't like seen that in a long time.
I know for me it's like 12 years or something like that. Like
Yeah,
it's been like
I mean, I saw that when I was like in California for like 12 years
yeah.
ago.
I saw it in my dorm, so that
Uh, yeah,
while you were in
it's
California actually.
oh, funny. It's funny how that
Well,
works.
it's probably the same time.
Shit.
So yeah, so we get a little detail on her and all that, and then they're off on a trip, and he is really hungry apparently, and he wants Alaskan shrimp. That's like his big thing. That this
Oh
area is known
right.
for
Well,
or
yeah, and
something.
then they go to the beach, and and he's like looking for bones, and he looks up, and he sees shrimp in the sky.
Yeah, the shrimp clouds. That was funny.
Yeah.
And so apparently she just drags him along and makes him dig shit up for him, and so they find a body, and he says this is actually something that happens fairly frequently with her. Is that she just finds human remains? I guess.
Right. Are you talking about the washed up body, or talking about the skull that has a hole in it?
The skull that has a hole in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny because he calls the police immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
I really like in the next episode when she I think it was the next episode when she made like a weird sciencey joke when she was like I think that your left lung is abnormally large.
Oh yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that? It was just like
yeah.
I think your left lung is abnormally large. Normally it's small to encompass the heart, but since you have no heart, because you're calling the police to keep these bones from me, like
Yeah, that was
you must
episode
have a
three.
large lung or whatever.
Yeah, that was episode three, I think, with the grandma. Was it? I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that was really funny though. I love that line. That was great.
yeah,
That was really well done. Yeah, and it really highlights her character too because you have these other people who are supposed to be like the normal Joes, and it's interesting that she not only has that kind of science brain, but also she's very sensitive, and she also has that artistic mindset too, which a lot of them don't have, and so it is really cool how she is very sensitive to that sort of thing, and I guess that goes along with the bone thing, which it takes a certain kind of creativity to put stuff back together and you know
right.
shape and form and all that. So yeah, that was a great line. That was fabulous.
Yeah.
So the cops show up and
Well,
they,
it wasn't. No, it was on their way back. They saw like that there were police or whatever, and they pulled over, and then there was a homicide. I thought I didn't
yeah
think that
well
they
so
because they approached the dead bodies. They didn't find the dead bodies.
well there's a cop that shows up because he called the cops, and then she says no, that this body is like 100 years old, and he's like, oh okay, but well you should probably still come down to the station. So they hop in the squad.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And yeah, and so there was apparently a lover suicide, which of course gets outed as you said as a homicide
Right.
by Sakamoto, and that's where this is.
You know what was really weird about this? They never fucking caught the bad guy.
Yeah,
Like that was wild to me. It was just like, here's this lover suicide. Here, let me tell you why it's that it's a murder instead of a suicide. Done. We're out of here.
that's true. They never did catch the murderer.
That was so bizarre to me. Like,
That's so weird. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, they never caught the. Do you think it was the butterfly guy? Now
it
that you mentioned
might be linked back to that, but like,
it.
not really. I don't know.
Yeah, it is funny. She just left that to the cops,
Yeah. Or not. Just
or not.
to
Yeah, she didn't care.
yeah.
She's like, I solved it. There you go.
Right.
Find the guy. I
Um.
I totally didn't notice that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like. And now the
Uh,
episode's over. I thought it was funny. Like, oh, wasn't there like once I don't remember why, but I think he like Febrezed her face.
yeah, he Febrezed her face when
So was she just being like rude or something? He was
yeah,
just
she
like,
said something rude and he just Febrezed her right in the face.
yeah. You know what that reminded me of? The time you
When
woke me up with fucking Febrezing me because apparently I
yeah,
farted too. Like it was too
yeah,
stinky.
you farted
Oh
in your
my god, I
sleep.
was so mad. I was just thinking like, oh my god, if I was her and he fucking Febrezed my face, I'd like attack him. Like I immediately didn't like that character just because of having like flashbacks. Like,
Yeah,
oh, how dare
it
you
was really
Febreze my face?
it was a really stinky fart because
Listen.
that's right. I came back from studying and you were already asleep. You were farting. Or
I
no, I forget what. Why I
don't
woke
know.
you
I
up.
don't know. I was
You almost
assaulted.
killed me. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, to you.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
if you had killed me,
huh?
if you had killed me, you would have needed Sakurako or Sakurako would have needed to find my bones.
There would be none left.
So, so basically, the homicide serves to show off her super ability to solve crimes, and I mean, really, that's what this episode is for. Is
Right.
just to
It's
show off
really
that.
just like all first episodes. It's an
Yeah,
introductory episode.
yeah.
Shocker, I know.
Shock.
Almost like we watched anime before.
Yeah, yeah. So her uncle is a forensics professor. So that's what that's what the other connection was that that's how she apparently
Oh,
knows so much about.
knows the other science stuff other than just bones because
Yeah,
her uncle.
yeah.
Okay.
And then that's also why she was allowed to like check out the bodies and stuff like that is because the other cop had him as a teacher, and so he vouched for her
Right.
credentials, I guess. So he, long story short, Shotaro never gets the crabs.
Sure.
But Sakurako called home early to tell the housekeeper to get a big dinner ready for him because she felt bad that he didn't get dinner. So she's a big fucking softie, is what that means.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And she totally wants to bone this dude.
Yeah,
Future
I guess.
romance.
I mean, I really hope not. I really hope it's like really she's not interested in that
Right.
on her side because he really wants to bone her. Definitely.
I mean,
Like,
maybe.
oh, definitely.
Yeah,
He's like,
definitely.
it's so much so he goes over there every day after school with the hopes that he's going to eventually finally bone
Someday,
her.
please.
And he's even blowing off all, like Kogami and stuff like that.
Some
You know,
who
who
probably wants to bone him. Right. Oh
probably
yeah,
wants to
because she
bone her.
was like, "Are you guys a thing?" And it's like,
Yeah.
"No." And she's like, "Oh."
Yeah, and she was kind of apparently excited by that
Right.
prospect. So, but no, he's into older ladies, straight up.
Yeah, and
So,
sociopaths.
yeah, apparently, is she a sociopath though?
I
You
mean,
think so?
I just like there's sometimes I just want to say that she's a sociopath. I mean, she's really a softie. She's like, I'm this
She,
kid's heartbeat. I can't leave right now. You gotta stop him. No, don't stop him. You're gonna get hurt. She's a super softie, which leads us to episode 2, when all those things
yeah.
just happen.
That actually you should have done the there was no like preview for the next episode in this show. That should have been the preview for all that happens on the next episode of Beautiful Bones.
Right.
um,
Oh
yeah,
my god.
I had a quick note too that this is the this is the girl that your parents complain to you about when you're in high school of like why can't you just get a normal girlfriend? You know, it's like really can't you just like find someone normal to date? This is
Right.
that chick.
Yeah.
You know, she's like into really weird shit. She's like kind of got a weird way of talking with people,
Does she really have to
maybe a
burn
little
sage
crazy.
everywhere?
Yeah, does she really have to dig up corpses everywhere? You know, it's just, you know, yeah. So, yeah, we already covered that. So this one uh I had a bone to pick with this episode.
I'm out. I'm done. Fuck it. Podcast over. You can explain the rest of them. I'm out of here. Got my Overwatch hat on. Gonna go play Overwatch. Nasty.
So so we open this episode with this little kid
So I totally
who's
thought it was a
barefoot.
boy, but spoiler
Yeah.
alert, girl.
Was it a girl?
Yeah,
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh.
pretty sure.
Uh, oh yeah, maybe. It's hard to tell with like larvae that young, but anyway, the girl had bloody footprints, and like there was a quick little flash of how she was like pushed out of something when her mom was getting murdered or something like that. So she walks up to a convenience store,
Well, I mean,
runs into
the at least what the flash looked like to me was the mom pushing her out the front door or something like that and leaving a bloody handprint. We later
yeah.
find
I
out
was
it
like,
was a window. I didn't notice it though at the very beginning.
yeah, I dropped Doritos all over myself, so I didn't quite see that whole scene when I was
What
first
kind of
watching it.
Doritos?
What
Is it the new white ones? Because like I haven't tried those
white
yet.
ones? There's new white ones.
Yeah.
What are those?
I don't know. They're white. They're like white.
White Doritos?
Oh,
For
it's a
real?
white bag.
It's a white bag. But are the Doritos white?
I don't know.
It's not
I
like
didn't
Cool
actually
Ranch.
eat. So I got on and I went to like a role playing thing, but then the guy was like, "My wife really likes these, so we're not opening them up here."
So you never had them?
No, I just bought a really big. No idea what they actually do. So I'm really curious, but I only know where they are at Costco. So anytime I to get one, I have to get like a fucking huge bag. I'm really torn about this. But anyway, let's get back to episode
But
2.
you got. Well, now I'm like really interested. Like, what is this white
Yeah, but
Dorito?
you
I've
see,
never seen
this is a mystery we won't be able to solve in this podcast.
it. That's true. To be continued.
Speaking of mysteries.
Next week. No. The Dorito I had was the spicy nacho. That's fucking delicious.
Yeah.
That is a really delicious Dorito. Really good. Anyway, so that's why I didn't
I'm hungry
catch
now.
up.
We need to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
I'm really hungry
We got
now,
like
actually.
4 more episodes to go through. I gotta eat.
Yeah. So convenience store. The kid runs into our hero Shotaro, manly man, who's reading comics at a
He was like,
convenience
what
store.
the fuck's a girl doing out so late at night?
Yeah, so he takes the kid to the police station. These are like, I thought the cops in the first episode were incompetent. These chuckle fucks are even more incompetent than the previous cops. This is like a new bar for incompetent TV show cops. These guys don't realize there's a giant fucking bloody handprint on this
Oh
kid's
yeah, they
bag.
were like, oh, it might be marker or something like that.
Nobody like was behind the kid when she was walking. Like,
Here's the thing, though, and this is something they talked about earlier, is that most people don't want to deal with death, so
uh,
so that they'll come up with other things.
way to go and like pay attention to the damn show. You know, really, like way to like pick up these
You wouldn't
like
know if you looked at my notes.
way to
I've got
pick up
like
these
four
subtle details.
lines for the rest of the season.
We're not supposed to put that much work into the podcast, man.
I'm
We're just
sorry,
not.
bro.
We're
Scale
just not
scale it
supposed
back
to
a
do it.
little. Scale it down.
Scale it back.
All right.
Scale it back. Scale it back. That's just too much. Too
Okay.
far. Too far. It making
I'm
me feel
fine.
bad.
Sorry. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I that was actually such a good point that totally delegitimized delegitimized
Words English.
that totally defunded, not defunded. That totally derailed
One
my
might say I
critique.
took the wind out of your sails.
You did.
Out of that little complaint. That's why I think that they did that.
Yeah. Okay.
They did.
To reaffirm that
And I
point.
think that's why the kid was like, "Oh, I'm so used to death. So yeah, this is like fucking blood." And the girl's like, "Yeah, this is fucking blood. I love blood." So yeah, and then she's a sociopath, and then
Yeah. But then the other thing I thought was weird too is like, so if there's blood on the bag, why didn't they go back to where they found the kid and trace back the footprints? Because she was leaving the footprints, right?
yeah, she was for like a little while when she was leaving that scene, but there was no like footprints of blood
Uh, uh,
at the gas station.
okay.
I'm
Well,
assuming it dried because blood, like when it's around air, dries like really quick.
really?
Yeah. I get bloody noses a lot, so usually I just like have and then just like do this a little bit and then it's like gone. Like it's just drying.
It evaporates?
No, but it's no longer wet. It's no longer marking unless it's like a fresh wound that's bleeding. What is it coagulate? Is that the word?
Coagulate?
Like it becomes
But I
anyway,
thought it
I'm making
coagulated.
myself sound like a retard, so can we just move on to the next?
No, no. I mean, you made a great point earlier. I've got to somehow delegitimize your.
I gotta deal with it. Legitimize you, bro. I just gotta take it down. Like,
So they
you may
take the
pay
kid
attention to this
to.
anime, but you do not pay attention in science class.
I definitely didn't. Jeez, yeah. What's funny is they just take the kid over to Sakurako's house at like 4:30 in the morning and just straight wake her up. That was a funny scene where she like yells at them after opening the door.
Now,
She's
I
like,
thought that it was midday when they woke her up because she said that she was up till 4 o'clock in the morning cleaning
"Oh, I thought it
bones.
was pretty early."
Well, like early, like maybe like 9 or 10 or something like that.
Oh, maybe
And then
I'd
she
have
was
to check.
pissed because she was up till like 4 working on bones. That's not in my notes. It's in here. It's in my trap.
In your trap. Yeah. Okay. That could be. That could be. That that could be.
Or it could be full of shit. The world may never know.
That could be. So then they go to check hospitals for. It turns out the kid's arm was broken and didn't heal properly. And Sakurako noticed that.
The next note that I have is the knife fight. I don't have any of this
Oh.
stuff written down like, at all. I have super glove power activate with Gendo pose, and then he took that knife guy out. Like
That's really funny. Yeah. Yeah. So there was a scene where they go like Sakurako figures out that the girl's arm was broken but wasn't healed, so that she was taken to the doctor but never followed up on or something like that, which I thought was weird. Like she got taken to the doctor but wasn't given a cast or anything, and whatever.
yeah, that
So
was kind of
That was a little
Yeah,
iffy. That was a little
because
iffy.
my understanding of it, what they were saying was that like because a kid is young and their bones heal quickly, that's
Yeah.
why she has the incline thing. But then they said that she probably went to the hospital, but she had the incline thing because she wasn't treated properly.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I would assume that she's saying that like if this happened, then there are probably other incidences when she had to go to the hospital, but it was sort of like a neglect thing
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on.
She was neglected, but it was that I just didn't follow that train of thought
Yeah.
really well. Because it's like we're supposed to feel bad for the mom, but also she neglected her kid, even though it looked like she was kind of nice to her kids.
Well, I would assume that the boyfriend or whatever was the druggie and that he probably did the abuse.
True. Yeah, that maybe. Yeah, maybe it was him. Yeah. Yeah, and she felt bad. Or yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Or she
Yeah.
was a bitch.
Yeah. So actually, either way, this doesn't go anywhere because they're just hanging out in a park when Kugami is running by and is like, "Yo, kid, you're the kid from that place, from the place where she works," and recognized the kid. And they were like, "Do you know her name?" And she was like, "Yeah, I totally do." And
Yeah.
that's actually how they find the house with the mom in it.
Yeah.
Mom's dead. Spoiler.
Spoiler.
She's dead.
Yeah. The blood
Super
was
dead.
hers.
Yeah.
And
And so she was also in a shocking twist. She died covering the
it's like a floor
weird
trap.
floor trap thing where she put her other kid in the floor trap.
Right.
And that kid was almost dead, but then Sakurako is like giving the kid CPR and shit, and she can't move because, like you said, she's giving him CPR,
Right. And
and
then the like
druggy boyfriend dude
randomly the druggy boyfriend came back mumbling about
shows up.
butterflies and shit.
Yeah,
Uh
stabs the cop. I was surprised
I
by
was
that.
surprised about that too. Really wish he died, didn't die. I was like, shit's about to get interesting. It's like, oh no, he's totally fine. Okay,
Yeah,
not actually exciting.
he wasn't too affected by it being stabbed.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's supposed to be really painful.
Being
So
stabbed?
yeah,
I wouldn't know. Would you?
nope.
I've stabbed myself, but it was like, well, didn't hurt that bad. Really, this guy was just a little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I've cut myself cooking, but I've never like
Yeah.
been stabbed, you know. But so that the guy goes to the house is like gonna attack them,
I
and
feel like this
of
episode was
course,
like the episode of conveniences.
yeah, this was very convenient. Shotaro suddenly knows jujitsu all of a sudden.
So I don't think it wasn't jujitsu. It was like a black belt karate or something like that. It
Oh, it was
wasn't
like that.
grappling though.
He fucking took that dude out
Yeah, he
there.
did. But he was like super terrified. And he was like, "Ha,
Yeah,
yeah!" And then it was just like, "Oh," and she's like, "No, don't do that. You're so dumb." He's like, "No, I'm fucking cool."
yeah. I actually like that he was nervous to do that though. That was actually that was a nice touch. He wasn't just like I got this shit, or he didn't just be like I mustn't run away. I mustn't run away. You know. So you know.
Yeah, but like the switch was just so weird, and for him to conveniently be like, "I'm a black belt," it's like, what?
Yeah, especially we didn't know that, and that's actually not brought up in the 3 episodes after that either.
Right. So that's why it sort of seems convenient, and like the
Yeah,
park
it
that
was
they were
weird.
at, and then the girl like runs by, and it's like, "Oh, you're never here. Oh, but you're here now. Oh, I know that person's name." It's like super convenient. But whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, like, it is what it is.
maybe it's a really small town.
Yeah, but then I mean, but she was surprised to see them at the park.
That's true.
You know,
Oh yeah, that's true because he's
she
yeah
was like,
yeah
"Oh," but anyway,
yeah.
yeah. So Dougie
So
guy comes in,
yeah, and you
save,
hear like
take guy out. Everyone's fine.
yeah, and this is where we like kind of the opening kind of showed this kind of too, but that Sakurako lost somebody when she was young,
Right, which is why
and
she like had a nervous breakdown when
Shotaro tried to save them.
right because
Yeah,
and she like had a, like a oh you're running away whatever flashback and then
yeah.
died.
So this is the first episode of the opening and the ending. The opening's pretty cool, but the ending I thought was really cool, and
Cool.
not just because
Never
she was
actually
naked
watched it.
underwater. What? It was a cool ending.
I
It was a
suppose
really cool
it's
ending.
like it's just blue.
Well, it's blue, and I mean she's naked through it, which is
What?
I mean cool. But like it's a
Sexist.
cool song. Like the song is cool.
Uh,
I thought visually it was pretty interesting. So the opening ending for the show is pretty cool.
I totally
And
meant
that
to
take,
watch it, but I just never did.
yeah. Did you
I'm
catch
really bad at
the?
watching openings and endings of things.
Did you catch the bonus scene at the end of episode 5 after the ending?
Oh no, I didn't
Oh,
look at any of the bonus. I
there you
think it was
go.
episode 5.
Yeah, there actually wasn't for the previous 4. There wasn't even like a next time preview
Oh
for
wow.
episode. Yeah,
Huh. No, I'm curious about that though.
yeah. It's actually it does actually wrap things up nicely for the first 5 episodes. I have to say. Yeah.
Like how the rib cage wraps up the internal organs.
Or how the pelvis collects all of the intestines and like kind of is like a cup, that drains out of a little hole on the bottom. It's like a cup holding your digestive tract
So
that has a
episode
little hole
3,
in the bottom
the
where
bones
your
that slumber
stuff
in
drips out.
summer.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Dude, did you have the same reaction at the beginning of this as I did? I almost freaked out. Summer, I was like, if this is a fucking swimsuit episode, I
oh
swear to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
God.
yeah.
Like, I would have been like, I would have freaked out. And then also, like, they like alluded. There's like this one thing that I really, like, if we're going to the beach, and I'm like, oh my God, the
Yeah,
fucking
and she did
swimsuit
say
episode.
like
And then it wasn't. I was like, oh sweet.
that was actually cool. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a swimsuit episode too. It really did seem like that. And
Really did.
also like episode 3, 4, that's usually when they hit us with the boobs, just to like keep us going.
Right. Just
Yeah.
like, it's Jesus.
Yeah, but actually it didn't go that way, which was nice. So the main thing in this episode is his obsession over who the name was that she called out. Um, well, there wasn't it like he was confused that it was somebody else's name. It was like the kid's name or something. Somebody
Right.
that was similar to his.
Right.
Yeah, or whatever. So anyway, that's his big like hang up for this episode. And so she put together a squirrel, quizzed him about it. He's like, it's a squirrel. Wait, no, maybe it wasn't a squirrel. Maybe he said it was a squirrel, but it wasn't. Whatever. Fuck that. So anyway, he's like, well, let's go check out some caves. I didn't quite understand how they got to the caves or
Yeah, actually,
why
weren't they talking about going to the beach?
Yeah, I thought they were talking about
Because
going to the beach.
I remember like this has nothing to do with the beach.
Yeah, it's like since it's summertime, let's go to the caves and check that out.
They
And
never
it's
went
funny.
into the caves.
Yeah, she makes a funny comment where she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were into this kind of stuff," you know, as well. It's like, yeah, I quite like caves. It's like I've never met anybody except like, I mean, there's spelunkers and stuff like that, but
Dude,
how often do you meet a
caving's
spelunker?
awesome. Have you gone in caves before? I like
I mean,
caves.
actually, I've been in a number of caves, but like, I mean, I
Yeah.
really like
Dude,
caves.
I am that man.
Are you a spelunker?
Sure.
Do you know spelunkers?
No, I don't even know how to spell that shit. I think it's a game
Like,
though. Isn't there like a game called Spelunking?
is it a game? Is it? I thought it was like the term that you use
No, it
people
is. You're right.
for people who climb in holes.
So episode 3.
Episode episode 3.
Oh, I thought it was funny, like when they were like, "There's bones over here," and they go check out, and she's like, "Oh, blah 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 blah, bones," and then like there's like a couple that was there, and they were like, "I gotta go," and they just like
Yeah,
laugh.
she scares the people away when she talks about how beautiful it is, the paradise that a human corpse creates in the forest.
Right, that because of all of the like insect laying eggs and whatever.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
quickly the body decomposes and all that jazz.
yeah, she does that like evil laugh. She's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. So the same country bumpkin detective who was in episode 1 shows up again, and I actually really liked what he did this time, which was she's going on and on and on about the body, and he just like really casually escorts her away from the scene while she keeps talking. That was a nice scene. That was pretty cool. He was just like, yeah, we're gonna go this way. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. And she's like, oh,
Didn't
okay.
he like chew her out or something like that?
I don't think so. He very
Because
like,
she was like bummed out afterwards.
yeah, she was bummed out because she got kicked out of the scene.
Oh, okay.
But he like
I
introduced. He
remember
knew
her
she
just
would
being
fight
like
back.
bummed out. I also like thought like it was funny that they said that she was bummed out. She's just like cleaning her shit in the room, and she's like she's been super depressed, but she like did not seem bothered at all.
No,
Just like
yeah,
I'll
depressed
clean
for
my
her
fucking
is
bones.
yeah. And then they eat. He brings her up watermelon or something.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then she drops she's just like, oh, it's, my younger brother died when I was a kid. That's what the name thing was about. That's, who's in the picture.
Yeah.
Just gonna, I like that. I like that it was
Thinking
answered. And
about
then
that one
suddenly,
next. Don't even care. Pocket.
oh, wow. And then suddenly, Shotaro's on a date with Kogami all of a sudden at the coffee shop. This
Oh,
was
right. And she's like all bummed out about her grandmother dying.
Yeah, because she's like, oh yeah, that body you found, that was my grandma. And he's like,
You're
ooh.
right. And I remember being kind of funny because she was just like, oh, I'm so glad you can't talk to me. It's like, why are we all here talking? She's like, oh, that body, thanks for reporting it. Reporting what? My dead grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And this was another like, oh, okay, this is
Dude,
rather convenient.
do you remember the comedian that we saw? This is like completely off topic, but oh god, what was this? What was his name?
Yeah, now you've actually got to say his name because
Right. Do like a little plug.
yeah. Oh, you texted it to me.
Yeah, I've got it on here. Paul Hooper. So
Paul
we went and
Hooper.
saw Paul Hooper, and then he was talking about how whenever someone's making like light conversation or whatever, like small talk, he just like counter like when they're saying shit that he doesn't care about, he just counters with something like really depressing, like my dad left me when I was 2, it just like ends the conversation. I feel like that's sort of what happened here. It was just like, oh, we're on a nice date. You found my dead grandmother.
Yeah. That's
Like,
true.
oh,
And how did she ask him out? Like, was she just like,
you
hey, I need to
hey, you
talk
want
to
to get
you
some
for a second?
coffee?
Yeah. Was it just that?
Yeah, because she's like, I have something I want to talk to you about, but I didn't think it was really appropriate to do in school.
Right, yeah, because
Oh,
she came
because
into
you
his
want to bone me?
classroom.
No, because you found my dead grandmother.
Yeah, he was like awkward.
It's like, oh, I thought I was getting laid tonight. Guess
Yeah.
not.
And then even more awkward was that she like the grandma apparently committed suicide. That's what the cop said.
Right.
So then he's like, well, it wasn't really me who found her. It was I was with Sakurako and stuff. And so he suddenly there's another kind of weird scene
Did you
change where
like go
Shotaro.
find her? Or
Yeah, so Shotaro goes, I guess the next day to get Sakurako, takes her to go to Kogami's place to talk to her so that she can thank. Okay,
yeah,
look, Kogami wanted to thank Sakurako for finding her dead grandma.
it was
And
silly.
then while they do that, there's the horse painting. Sakurako's like, "This is a nice painting," and she's like, "Yeah, my grandpa painted it. He used to paint,
It's
but
got
now he's like
dementia.
got dementia.
Grandmother got
We left
depressed, didn't want to take care of him, went and killed
Yeah,
herself. That's what the
we
police
didn't pay
said.
attention. We just thought she was going to handle it. We ignored
She said
her, and then
everything was fine.
yeah. So Kogami has she's got some shit to work at, and then Sakurako is just like she didn't fucking kill herself.
Well,
Like, what are you talking?
that was actually at the very end. Like they didn't
Oh yeah, because she wanted to
'cause-
see where her grandma was found, right?
right, like
Yeah.
where
So
she
they
jumped
go.
off into like kill herself or what.
There's some like weird scene changes here because I didn't quite follow the like.
Well, the way that the information was introduced as well was also weird because was it Kogami or whatever? She was like not saying that she thought that her grandmother killed herself until the very end.
Oh yeah.
So one part that I thought was really funny though was when she was crying at the house, and then the way that the girl comforted her was like, um, tears are like blood
Yeah.
without plasma, so it thickens your blood and it's unhealthy. I just thought that was awesome. I was like, oh my
Yeah, that
god,
was
you're the
another.
best like comforting person ever.
Yeah.
Like the way that she comforts people is just with like painful detail to science. Like with the little kid, she's just like, oh, she was just like, oh, can I touch your hand? She's like, no, like fuck you, you crazy lady. She's like, let me tell you about how little kids' bones work. Like your bones are working really hard right now in order to heal up, and like it's really impressive. Like you're lucky that you can do that because you're young. It's like, oh, wow, you're so smart. Here, touch my arm. It's like the same thing over here. It's like I think it like
Yeah.
just confuses the person, so they forget that they're crying and upset about something. They're just like,
Yeah. It's like a non sequitur to them.
yeah,
It's like what the fuck, especially the kid, because you know
right.
whatever. But yeah, that's true. So she wanted to see where her grandma died.
Right.
She's like, no, she didn't kill herself, but you have to go up to that rock that she fell off of to see, to understand what she saw. So there's a really dramatic running scene, which if this old lady could climb up it, I'm sure it wasn't that difficult of a run. But
Well,
Kogami is like,
the cliff was just like a really long slant.
yeah,
Like it was like here's like the wall, and it's like you can get up there
yeah.
with a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, but Kagami runs, does this really dramatic run. She's like sweating. She gets like cut by a branch. She's just like, "Oh, I gotta see, I gotta
She got
see."
like a mark on her face.
Yeah, I was like, "Geez." And meanwhile, like Shotaro just walks up there and is like, "Could just walk,
Yeah,
or you could just walk."
yo dog.
Like you don't have to do that.
But
So,
yeah. So they discover that the mother goes up there because that was the painting that he did, which was the sunrise as opposed to sunset, which is why I left in the middle why she left in the middle
yeah,
of the night, and that early morning sun ray beams produce serotonin, make people happy. So she just
she
fucking
was an
fell. She
she was an
wasn't.
early
Yeah,
riser. Did we find out why she just fell?
she
That
just
was it.
fell.
She just fell,
Yeah, fucking old people, man.
and that was it.
Yeah, my
Uh,
last note is like her grandma tripped and died. Feels, man. Feels.
Stone cold,
Yeah.
stone cold, cold
You know
blooded.
what's really funny?
What's that?
That for some reason they forgot that episode 4 and 5 was really just one episode, and they put it over 2 episodes. Do you think that was funny? I thought that was funny. It's a
Wait,
two-parter. There's
it's a
no reason.
two-parter.
Episode 5 starts with the solution to episode 4. Think
That's
about
true.
that. Think about that.
Yeah, they didn't. They really did kind of extend it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just talk about this one whole story because it is just one long episode. It's a two-parter, but
It was such a bad story too.
yeah, this was not a great. This wasn't the best. This really wasn't the best. On the other hand, in episode 4, I noticed in the opening, prior to the title credit going up, there's a quick thing that says it's a story dedicated by those trapped by the past. I just thought it was a note that I'd take down.
Well, at least one of us is taking notes.
Well, yeah. So,
You know what'd be really cool if it somehow plot twisted that the butterfly man killed the grandmother. I'd be down with that.
yeah, that he just killed everybody, and that he does it solely just to get bodies to where Sakurako is gonna go. It's like it's all been just a part of the plan,
Right.
That'd be cool.
Well, I just think it'd be cool to have the dark twist of him killing some character's old grandmother.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. I mean, it would be.
I feel bad saying cool. An interesting dark twist.
It would be super cool if this guy killed this character's
Right.
grandma.
I was trying to feel a little bad about that. A little too dark.
Yeah, I mean, for a town that's as boring as Shotaro describes it as, they find a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. Although, actually, I shouldn't say that. In this two-parter, there's no dead people. No skeleton.
There's an attempted dead person.
I mean, he tries to kill himself. Yeah. I just, I didn't mind it so much when I was watching it, but now that I have to talk about it, I did not like this two-parter.
No. Can we just there wasn't really a lot. It took 2 episodes. There wasn't a lot of content to it.
No, there wasn't. So, Shotaro's out shopping with his mom. This I felt like was kind of a useless scene. Really, all it said is that his dad died when he was younger. He's worried about his mom getting older. His mom has high blood pressure.
Dude.
The cop.
Actually, one of my notes. Okay. I'm really fucked up, apparently. I have a really dark sense of humor. This was my first note. And it was like, spending time with his mother for some reason. When she ran across the road, I thought she was going to get hit by a car.
Oh, I thought that too. I thought that.
Okay.
I thought she was gonna get hit too. She was like, "Oh, I have high blood pressure. Well, you shouldn't worry about it." And she gets just nailed by a truck.
Right.
I really thought that.
So we're both fucked up. Sweet. All right.
Yeah, I thought that too. Yeah. I didn't make a note of it, but when you said that, yeah. So the cop comes over um, to the house. Where the fuck does he come from?
Who knows? He gets them
Yeah.
together. He's like, I've got this friend who lives in the fucking boonies, and he's paranoid. Can you go tell him that he's paranoid? And they're like, okay, cool. We're gonna go tell him that he's fucking paranoid.
But first, he wants to go to Sakurako so that he can be told that he's paranoid, but not
Right.
really,
He's
so that
like, tell
he
me
can
that I'm
hear.
dumb, and then no, now tell my friend that he's dumb.
It's like I
She's
want you
like,
to
no
tell me that
problem. I
I'm.
love telling people that
Yeah,
they're dumb.
tell me that I'm done, and then in that exact way, I want you to tell my friend that he's
I
done.
think that's pretty much exactly what he said.
That was it. Yeah, that was. And then while they're driving to go to this friend in the boonies, that then also says that he hasn't seen him since middle school,
Right.
except for this one time. He's also like,
I
there's this dog.
solved this fucking thing so fast. Like, oh my god.
This is just it just the whole thing can be encapsulated by it's just the shittiest birthday party ever. It really is. It's just the crappiest birthday party ever.
Right.
There's not even like a dramatic death. It's like he can't even kill himself properly.
Yeah,
Like it's just not.
literally. He
Yeah,
tried.
there's not even that. So during this drive, he's like, "Oh, by the way, there's this cursed dog. That's also part of the curse
But
that
it
all the
happens to
family."
also have a cursed painting.
Yeah, yeah. It also has a curse painting, and this is where I was starting to be like, okay, there's a curse where all the males in the family die
Yo,
young.
dog, I heard you like curses, so I'll put a
Yeah,
curse in your curse.
but there's a separate cursed dog, and so at first I was confused. I was like, is this the same curse? And I was like, no, no, this is like an add-on curse.
Yeah.
And then the painting was like another add-on curse. That was an old painting that's been in the family for a long time that he was going to throw out, but he didn't. He was keeping it in his office so that he could look at it with his kid. This guy, I was like, this guy isn't afraid of curses. He's a fan of curses like Sakurako is a fan of bones. He fucking loves curses.
Yeah.
He's just all about it. Yeah. So, which we discover why, but so they have a really long tea time. Sakurako doesn't like tea, or
On their way there, they take a random detour, which I'm like,
because
this is so random that it's got to be intentional.
yeah, because there's this car that's parked randomly in this strange one way street
Right.
to get, which I never understood
And
where
then
the
like
detour was.
off-roading.
Yeah, I never understood where the detour was if there was only one road, and it was a one way road.
Yeah, I don't know, but whatever.
They're just like, oh, we'll take a detour.
It was a
Okay,
ridiculous episode.
whatever, you know.
So
So
the guy's like, I'm gonna die. Here's all these detailed things about reasons that I am going to die. Um,
and here's this giant fucking dog that
right.
was with my uncle when he died and was alone with my uncle for a week after he died, which I took that as he just ate the uncle, but apparently he didn't eat the uncle.
No, cats do that. I think dogs are a little bit better.
Dogs don't do that.
They might
Really?
eventually, like if they get really hungry, but the cats don't give a fuck. Dogs will wait a little while. I still like cats more, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I still like cats
Yeah,
more
but
too.
like dogs are better
Yeah.
friends. I mean, it's true. Like,
It is, yeah.
like
yeah,
your cat just
yeah.
wipes his shit on you or whatever. Like,
That is true. Yeah, that is absolutely true. Yeah, so the dog is actually a nice dog, even though there's like 10 minutes spent talking about how he's this terrifying, like,
oh yeah,
gatekeeper for hell.
super cool dog. Knocks
Which
her
you
over,
knew.
and then you get like an exposed hip shot, and
Yeah,
everyone's like,
that
"That's so
makes,
scandalous."
makes Jotaro blush. But what's funny too is you knew the dog wasn't going to be scared because the dog is in the fucking opening sequence, and you're like, who's this cute giant dog? And
Right.
then when he starts talking about a terrifying dog, I was like, well, let me guess. He's not
It's like this
terrifying.
really cute dog.
And he's actually super cute. He's just really big.
Yeah.
And he doesn't stare at people because they're going to die. He's staring at people because they act fucking crazy.
No, well, I think that
And
I mean they say the dogs can like smell cancer and stuff like that. So the idea
really?
that that like dogs can sense like other
Or like
shit that's going
illness or
on.
something.
Like that's
Yeah.
why the dog was obsessed with the girl because she was always around like dead bodies and stuff like that. I think that that was warranted.
Yeah, because now the dog's a fan of deaths because he goes outside and like picks up dead animals and finds them and
Right.
stuff like
That's just
Which I was
that's just
like,
what he smells.
yeah, I was like, great. He will be the perfect Sherlock Bones to Sherlock Holmes and Sakurako's.
All right. Anyway, we're
Three.
almost
That's
done.
three.
Please, please.
So the wife is crying because they make apple juice, and she's like, he's really scared of dying. I really don't want him to die. He took out an insurance policy.
Right. Oh, he's been working in the stock market. Oh, he's doing so well, but he wanted to take out this huge life insurance policy. Now he's convinced he's gonna die. Fucking duh. Like
And also,
he's
if
trying to kill himself
the
in order to provide for his family.
yeah, so they say that the market wasn't doing well, and there's like papers to say this, but nobody was like, "Oh, I heard the market's not doing well. Is he still doing well?"
Right.
Like, apparently nobody reads the news. So this guy is like fucking serious. He should get his
So
blood pressure checked.
the cursed painting actually has like what, like arsenic or something like
Yeah,
that in
the
it.
paint the paint was arsenic, and then there was mold on the back that was like feeding off of the arsenic or something, and it was releasing like
A poison, essentially.
a poison.
Um, the person that he talks to, he was like, "I'm not accusing you of knowing that like this was gonna poison my family." And the guy was like, "No, man, it's totally fine." Meanwhile, this is the butterfly dude. So the butterfly dude was trying to kill the entire family.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and I like how he wasn't suspicious of the dude all in black with the weird hat.
Right, and the weird sort of
I'm
like long black hair thing going on. No, well, I
yeah,
mean like that was the guy that was getting him to kill himself. That
yeah.
was the guy
Oh
that
yeah.
was advising him. So there's a guy who's advising him to kill himself. Whatever.
Yeah.
So they find out about the painting, and he's like, "Oh, thanks so much. I'm just gonna go have a cigarette and chop some wood." Tries to kill himself.
I actually thought he was gonna get killed or something. I was like, they kept showing like shots where the characters were talking and the window was in the back of them, like the porch
And
window.
saw nothing.
And like I kept looking, waiting for him to like just like hit the glass or something like that,
Ah!
and be like, with an axe coming out of his head or something like
Right.
that. And it never happened, even though the framing was so that you could see outside. It
Right.
was like, okay, really? And then the dog was like, oh, bark, 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 bark. Something's happening, and I was like, oh, the guy's getting axed to death. Well, he hits his leg with the axe
Right.
twice.
A few times, but it says that it broke, but it's hesitation marks.
Yeah, and it's like he's always wanted to die because, like you said, the stock market's crashed and all that. And that's why I was like, why are you, if you're so afraid to die, why the fuck are you smoking? Like, why are you, so he's still doing that.
Oh
And
no, I
I
don't
was
think
like,
that he
what?
was. Was it? Did they say that he was afraid to die?
Well, wasn't that his whole thing that he was afraid to die, but
Well,
then really he wanted to die?
I mean, well, that's just like when you inflict a wound on yourself is generally hesitation marks just because of the pain alone. Like you have to
Yeah,
overcome your body's like self preservation whatever thing
yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah, like how she said about the people who drowned. Like usually when they drown
They'll
themselves,
rip at each other's hair or something like that. Or
that was creepy. Do you think that's true?
probably.
That's creepy as
I,
fuck. That creeped me out. That creeped me out.
yeah.
I was like, oh God, imagine like jumping off a bridge with someone who's like, I love you, I want to kill myself with you, and then like you're fucking tearing out each other's hair, trying to like breathe. Oh,
Yeah.
that's creepy as fuck. So yeah, but I just thought this guy was just very inconsistent, right? I mean, also, what a shitty birthday. He like picked up a cake that his wife made him order. She got him pizza. She was being super nice. Like all of his one friends were there. Like
Well, it wasn't really a friend. It was just someone they ran into because he wanted
yep,
like
yeah,
someone to. He wanted to have a birthday to show how happy he was. So when he
yeah.
killed himself, people wouldn't think it was a suicide.
Like on his birthday too. Like who wants to hang out with this guy after this?
Yeah, man.
Like that's it's like okay, I don't want to hang out with you again because you like tried to loop me into taking care of your family and tried to kill yourself on your birthday while we're having orange juice. Well, it was a perfectly nice afternoon. So anyway, I really thought he was going to get killed by the butterfly dude. There'd be like a dramatic scene or something, but
A note that I did take that I forgot about was when she was like talking about how men can have higher elevations of this like stress thing, which can be
oh
harmful
yeah,
to their heart, and then she's like, men can actually die from a heartbreak.
Oh yeah, she laughed.
She like had like the like fucking stupid men.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean her lines were good. It was just this was like, especially for a two-parter, like really, this was a
There was no
weak
reason
fucking
for this to be a
two-parter.
two-parter.
No, there's no reason for it. And so the scene at the end, so it just kind of stops abruptly. The scene at the end was just really to have her show interest in the butterfly guy and how she thinks she knows possibly who it might be
Oh, at the after the credits or whatever.
after the credits. Yeah, and they talk about how the guy who tried to cut his leg off or whatever got a job at a TV company. His wound isn't entirely healed. He's doing better. And at this barbecue that they were at, like I forgot why they were even at a barbecue. I think one of Sakurako's family members invited her out. Her like older sister or aunt or something. Aunt maybe. Um, Anyway, so everybody's at the barbecue. The little girl from episode 2 is there.
Oh wow.
Kogami is there. It just actually kind of felt like a last episode kind of get together sort of thing because everybody's there.
Right.
The dog's there. She's of course Sakurako got the dog, and then she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll, I guess there's something more to this art, critic or whatever, and art appraiser."
Right.
And then she looks back at the sakura tree, the cherry blossom tree, with Shotaro standing in front of it, and he like smiles or something, and she sees her little brother, and then she turns and is like, "Oh, won't you give me a little more time?" And says something to that effect, which is like, I guess she's solving the mystery of who killed him or something like that, and that's what
That,
all this has been about.
that's kind of interesting. I mean that I don't know
That was
that,
interesting.
that that
Yeah,
sounds like there's a lot more content, which makes me sort of more curious for the rest of the show. Uh, so I guess this is like the episode when you're finally trying to get the hook, but like I think most people would already have stopped watching this before the
it
fifth
was just
episode.
it was a bad two-parter,
It's a
and I
really
think
bad two-parter.
it was interesting is this scene after the credits made me really interested to be like, oh shit, well I want to find out more about this too. Like you said, this makes me interested for the second half of the show. But this two-parter did not set that up.
Right.
I mean, and like you commented before about previous episodes, the information is just put out in such a weird way, and like she solved it really fucking quick. It really wasn't a big deal. I really didn't feel like there was any danger or anybody was really on the line. This guy was just fucking neurotic and needed
Oh
help.
yeah,
And
I remember I had a note where like it was like, wow, the music's like super intense, but like nothing intense is going on right now. It's just a guy who's
it's
paranoid.
it's literally them sitting around a table talking for 2 episodes.
Yeah. Uh,
Like, and then he takes a
Something
smoke
that
break.
I do think is funny is when she like went to solve it or thinking she like fucking face planted the main character's head into her lap.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny,
that was funny. I forgot about that.
but
Yeah. So Sakurako is really cool. I like Shotaro. I liked how interested he was in that family's juicer. That was kind of cool. He was like, oh, he was really interested in like the
I
cooking
fucking
stuff.
love appliances.
Yeah. It's like I love appliances. So this guy is just really funny. So I appreciated that. He's a cool character. The painting was cool. I thought the painting was kind of interesting that she was looking at with the moon and the butterfly,
Yeah,
like the girl. That was cool.
I thought that one was like gonna have more relevance, but it didn't. So
Well, what was funny is I thought that was going to be the cursed painting. I thought that's what they were talking about. I was like, oh, that's the cursed painting, but the cursed painting was just a forest. So,
right,
all right. So, I mean, it has a potential of being really cool, and I feel like the series has a lot of great things going for it. Sakurako's character is really cool. She's got some great lines, like you were saying. Shotaro's interesting. The backstory seems potentially really interesting. The butterfly dude seems interesting, and I feel like they keep getting strung up on these really solving these cases really way too quick, way too easily. How kind of coincidentally everything seems to come together, and then for a two-parter, it's this. I mean, there's not even a corpse that they find.
and it's sort of like the episode 4 and episode 5 is when you have a two-parter. You know?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I feel like it would have been more interesting if the guy had actually been killed at the end of episode 4. 5 was like really setting up the bad guy or something like that. I mean,
It's solid. There could be there's a lot of issues with it. There's also a lot of stuff that does well.
Yeah, that's
Don't
true.
really have.
And the backgrounds are really pretty. You know, and I do like the CG skeletons that walk around her when she's like doing her Gendo thing.
Yeah,
You know, but that's it. That was 5 episodes. So you think you'll ever watch the second half
I
of it?
might. I mean, right now, it's not, you know, that exciting to me, but it's on my list.
Yeah,
So
I think at some point I'll go back and check it out.
yeah,
But I just hope I'm just really afraid it's only 12 episodes, but I'm like kind of afraid that it's not. It's just going to keep kind of
like 4 and 5
waffling.
really didn't like the pacing was really bad, and if like 6 and 7 is like that or whatever, if it doesn't pick up quickly, it's sort of like
Yeah, that's true.
what was that? There's that one anime that like had really really good graphics. I want to say that there was like a 5 in the title or something like that. But on the fifth episode, everyone got fucking jacked by the super alien, and we were
Oh,
just
God
like,
Eater.
yeah, Scott Eater. And we were just
Yeah,
like, what? It's like the opposite.
yeah. This was the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, the direct
This one was
opposite.
like the first
Yeah,
two episodes are really good, and 4 and 5 are like super slow.
yeah. Really strangely, very strangely. I mean, it's just what a weird story to pick as the two-parter. Any of those other ones would have been interesting, but it looks like there's another two-parter for episode. Actually, there's two more two-parters. There's 7 and 8 and 10 and 11. Uh, so maybe
Yeah,
you
who
know,
knows?
maybe that actually gives me some hope that the finale could be good. But I don't know. But anyway, it's a solid show. I actually enjoyed my time with it. I just think it was it was tough critiquing this after Perfect Insider. You
Yeah, I
know.
really think that like gave it a much more negative thing.
I mean, if we had watched this after Gate, I would have been like fucking over the moon for this show. But
Dude, can't
watching,
say that. So many people like Gate. Shh.
I
Maybe they
don't,
won't know.
maybe we'll do season two.
Ah, no.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was Beautiful Bones. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all check it out too, because it'd be interesting to hear. Um, I actually feel like some people could watch this, and I could see really enjoying like the interaction between the two main characters, and
Yeah.
I think the main character is charming enough that I think people could really, really like the show just because of that, and that's the strongest point it has. So.
Yeah.
But bam,
And bam, done.
bam.
See you guys next time.
But what are we doing next time? We're doing Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World is the full title. It's on Crunchyroll. We're doing the first 5 episodes, and this shit will hit you on Monday. And if you're in the far future and you have all of our episodes, then you have all of them already, and you don't even have to listen to that one next. You can listen to any of our thousands of episodes after this one. Yep. But if you're not, and you're actually listening in real time,
Cool.
Monday. So cool.
Later.